So we've been talking Heritage Classic. We haven't got around a ton to the breaking news today that Zach Collaros has been named the starting quarterback for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers Friday night against the Calgary Stampeders on Friday Night Football. We probably will delve into that a little later on in hour two, but we'll go deep into it on Football Friday here tomorrow with John Frenzy in the bunker. Because, listen, I got to be honest, everybody's going bonkers over the NHL Heritage Classic, the Prairie Classic with the Pats and the Hitmen, and Jackie Perez of CTV Regina, CTV Morning Live, rolling into the bunker here. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning. This
is like midnight for you probably because you've been up a long time.
I don't know. We went from one to the other. We're moving around a lot this morning.
Yes.
We checked out the rink. It was awesome.
It looked great. I saw your tweet.
Awesome. Yeah.
Tell people what you're seeing.
You're seeing a rink inside Mosaic Stadium. Like, how cool is that? It was really funny to see the bleachers and the benches just out, or the stadium seats out, and having so much space on field. And we were talking to your guys, and they were saying they just had goosebumps just being out there, and can't wait to see what the guys are.
It's crazy how they've just taken it over. Like, it doesn't even look like the Ryder Stadium anymore, right? Like, all their branding and everything, like as the NHL, you would expect it, but they do it right. Like, it's got an atmosphere in there already, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Well, everyone's just like looking at Pill Country. They're like, whoa, Pill Country looks so different because they've gotten rid of the signs. It's Heritage Classic just smacked on right there. It's really cool how they even staged the field, because the rink doesn't take up the entire field. You have the Flames logo, the Jets logo. It's really a sight to see.
Well, explain to me, because what I've heard is that nobody's allowed to take photos. We've heard rider staff can't take photos, and yet, as I mentioned here earlier to the guys, Claire Hanna's been at ice level helping paint lines. That's been on her social media. You this morning, you put video on your Twitter. So what are the rules and who's allowed?
I have no idea how the rules are. We were down there and we begged. We're like, can we be ringside for the morning? And I know it's really tough because these guys are really taking care of the ice. There's just like when construction's on there, you can't be anywhere near it. Luckily, I think they were saying that it has a lot to do with it being nighttime. That's okay because it won't damage the ice. But with the sun coming down or just it being bright and early, they have to maintain that ice. So that's what the crew was doing around 8 o'clock this morning. They're just covering it. The glass was up, the boards are up, like the lines and the logos are done. Claire Hanna helping with the logo placement. Right. She was like, I hope it's not crooked. Please don't blame me if you guys are offside. Yeah,
they were saying that all the work they're doing is at night because they don't want to leave the ice uncovered during the day. So those guys are 17
degrees tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow 17. Yeah, geez. At least it's not going to be 17 on Saturday, though they had a game at Dodger Stadium last year, so they know what they're doing.
That's what everybody's worried about, the temperature on the ice. And again, and not only did they play in L.A., but they had no problems in LA. So obviously they know what they're doing.
What I would like to tell everyone out there who is watching, because it is going to be at 8 p.m. tonight, don't be concerned about the ice. Be concerned about yourselves, because we were out there in the morning and my toes were getting cold, and we were out doing hits from 6 to 9, and just the longer it got, or even the brighter it got, we still got cold. So just dress as warm as you can.
Couple layers.
Yeah.
Philzy, how excited are the Pats?
I think really excited. I don't think I really grasped it, and I thought you hit it on the head earlier this week when you're kind of thinking about different things, and then you get to the week of, and it's like, holy smokes, we're playing outside. Yeah. I think it's incredible. Our guys are really excited. I think it's cliche. Everybody always talks about, that's when you fall in love with a game as a kid, when you play outside, but it's true. It's cliche, but it's true. That's where I did. I spent hours in the rink outside. So to be able to go back to the roots and, play outside and just do it as a part of this Heritage Classic week with the NHL is incredible. And, Jackie mentioned, having Brad Haroff and Stacey Cattell out there this morning and talking about how they had goosebumps just seeing it, right? You imagine when the guys get out there for warm-ups and seeing, I think we're at close to 14,000 tickets already sold for the Pats game on Sunday. So it's going to be a great atmosphere in there for the Pats game on the Sunday. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I learned to skate in a dugout outside, courtesy my dad and my older brothers. And what are you laughing at over there? Do you know what a dugout is?
Yes, I know a dugout more than the rink. I'm still learning how to skate, so that's why. I'm laughing.
Are you?
Yeah. So tell us your story.
Oh, I just did. It's like 98% of the people that are watching and listening right now, we're all the same. Exactly. So it's nothing special about it. But it is about the outdoor thing. So you and I, Philzy, look at things very similarly, I think, right? So it was not looking too far ahead until, boom, it's here. But here's the pitch. Here's the sale. So if you're, would you say 16,000?
Almost 14,000 as in.
Okay, almost 14,000. Mm-hmm. Can we get a record?
I don't.
We have to.
I would love to see it. I think the record is just over 21,000.
20,888.
Yeah, there you go. So we could get there. We did just open up 2 of the sections in the upper part of the stadium because the lower bowl is getting ram jammed. So we could get there. I mean, you never know. We're 3 days away. Could we sell that many? That would be incredible to set a record and have it in there. But at the very least, the entire lower bowl is going to be full, and we're going to have some people upper. So better than I expected, I think, for us, for sure.
Well,
pretty affordable too.
Yeah.
but this is my point. So there are people saying they want to go and it's too expensive, and I understand that, the NHL game. But I think that people are going to see the Jets and Flames are practicing tomorrow on it. Then they're playing Saturday. You could do a walk-up. I mean, if you can't afford to go to the NHL game, go to the junior game. Because the kids, because you're a parent, you're a father of 3, your kids will never, ever forget going. And to be honest, if there's 14, 15, 16,000 at a junior game, they're not going to know the difference between an NHL game or a junior game.
They were outside.
They were outside. They'll remember that night, that day outside.
Yeah, we're just incredibly lucky that the NHL brought this game here and we were able to piggyback off it. I mean, their ticket sales have been awesome. I mean, less than 800 left for the game on Sunday night, and then for us to be able to just partner with them and host this game is incredible, and to be able to offer tickets for $18.50. I mean, it's gone off without a hitch so far, and so yeah, we're really lucky that the NHL and the city of Regina was able to bring this event here to Regina.
Tell me about the jersey. That is one gorgeous looking thing.
We're so lucky with the Pats because Gavin and Sean Semple, the owners of Brant, they have maybe one of the best design teams in Western Canada in terms of just being able to pump out content and do stuff like this. So people remember our 100th anniversary jerseys, and then the Memorial Cup jersey, which I think is the best jersey I've ever seen ever.
Sexy as hell.
I have Sam Steele's that hangs in my office. Like, I liked it that much. Paid whatever $500 for it, and my wife wasn't very happy. But exactly, and so they do such good work, and we came to them this summer and asked them to put together kind of a throwback that incorporated the colors of the PPCLI and for our Military Appreciation Night, which is going to be on Sunday, I guess, afternoon. And I think they did a heck of a job. It's simple, which I like. It's got the red and the cream. We haven't had a red since before new ownership in 13-14. So yeah, really excited about it. And they're all being auctioned right now, actually, as of now, on reginapats.com/auction 2019. So everybody can own a game worn of these if they like.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I just love it. And I guess we have 10 times as many people listening as watching. I guess you'll want to go back to Facebook and watch this show, or reginapats.com, right? You'll have all the info there. Now, here's the interesting thing. Philzy is a dyed-in-the-wool Leafs fan, Jays fan, everything Toronto fan, right?
Pretty much.
And Jackie, you're a Toronto gal.
Yes.
There's never been an outdoor game in Toronto, right?
There was.
Was there? I'm sorry. Where was it?
Mm-hmm.
It was
like 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
Not that long ago?
Against Detroit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I apologize. Oh, right, because Tiger played in it. Yeah. I think it was longer than 3 years ago. Does that sound right?
Maybe 4.
And then
How long
2
have I
years
been
ago,
here
they
for?
played in Michigan, and Toronto played Detroit again at the big house. So they
had a big alumni thing and all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, well, do you have an outdoor history at all, Jackie?
Not for a classic. I mean, again, BMO was there, and it's exciting to see it come to Regina because, and in talking to everyone here, they're like, we never get any of these things. So having that excitement and that buzz, I've been talking to people in PA, people in Saskatoon, they're all coming down. And I know we talked ticket prices about it being expensive and people are having a hard time finding a decent place to stay. But just everyone coming here, there's a lot of activities that are going on because we talked to people today about it. They're doing movie nights, free movie nights every single night in the downtown area. Then a lot of the warehouse or local businesses, they're banding or combining with restaurants to come up with deals and like Regina Heritage Classic deals that are pretty cool. So I think it's a really good time to be here in Regina and the city to come alive like that. It's really cool. It feels like a Toronto festivity.
Yeah, well, you would know because Philzy are 2 hayseeds from here. But yeah, I feel the same way. And I'm also hearing the things that everybody's coming here and what is there to do? And I'm like, listen, I'm not Tourism Regina. go. Where would
tune into CTV Morning Live tomorrow morning? We will be back on location at Confederation Park, because that's where all the free activities are going to be going on. So come down to Confederation Park early, and we're actually going to test out some of the activations that are there. And you don't need a ticket apparently.
Yeah,
to
it's
come
free
on.
charge. FanFest.
Yeah, what do people need to know? Tell us all.
Well, there's a lot just going on leading up, and FanFest is a big one from the NHL, which is going to be taking place in Confederation Park, and people will know from where the Rider pregame party is there in the park, the exact same spot. You don't need a ticket. You'll have to go through what do they call metal detectors to get into that part, but no tickets needed. And there's going to be just a lot of stuff celebrating the heritage of hockey, and and the NHL is going to put on a great show, and we're lucky enough that they're going to continue it into Sunday and have it prior to the Pats game from 10 to 1:30. But it opens at 1 o'clock Saturday prior to the Heritage Classic between the Jets and the Flames, and I think it's going to be great. An opportunity for people who don't get in the building, because I think it's going to be a sold out game, that they can take part in it for sure.
It feels like Grey Cup. That's what I feel like, that energy that's coming, and even being down on that field, if you're talking outdoor experience, it's going to be like that, but with hockey.
Well, and it's not like we don't know what it's like to be on national television here, because the Rough Rider games do it all the time, but a hockey game out of Mosaic Stadium on Hockey Night in Canada,
it's awesome.
Right? It really is. Right? That part is new to us, so that's exciting.
What's the best Rider game to go to is at nighttime, under the lights,
in your snow
late
pants.
October. It's a little bit chilly, but it's a game that means something. This is going to rival that, I think, just because of the time of day starting at 8 o'clock. It's going to be outstanding.
Well, and that's the thing, is I never really paid attention to this. There's been a lot go on in my life in the last year. So when they announced this thing a year ago, I was like, I'll think about it
when we get there.
Yeah, I'll get there when we get there. And of course, my friends in hockey are saying, you don't understand. This is the Stanley Cup and the Grey Cup and the Super Bowl and the Stanley Cup final, everything in together at once. And now you're seeing it, Jackie. I mean, you're a big city gal. So, yeah, it is kind of exciting that way. And, Philzy, obviously you've been working closely, and the Pats have, with the NHL on this. But what made them pick here, by the way? That's the part that I missed.
I don't know. I think part of it has to do with, Mosaic Stadium being probably the best open-air stadium in the country. That is a big part of it. And I think probably a lot of work was done at the city level and the provincial level to attract them to come and do this. So I would say that that's probably a big part of it, just the venue, being able to do it, and being a market that I think is, while it is a very football-centric province, it's also a hockey province in a big way, and there's probably a lot of people that cheer for Calgary and cheer for Winnipeg now that they've been back in the National Hockey League. So I think it's a lot of work was done to attract it, and I think it's a marriage made in heaven for the NHL. And from the ticket sales, you can see that it is. That we're going to have 33,000 people in that stadium watching an NHL hockey game. So it worked.
Who do you think will be the rooting interest? Who will be the favorite team in there?
That's tough to pick.
Yes, it is.
I think it might be split right down the middle. I think there's a lot of Jets fans that have come back since they went back into Winnipeg. But at the same time, there's a lot of Flames fans. I think if it was an Oilers game, I think there would be more Oilers fans than there are, because I feel like a lot of people that I know, I guess in my circle, are Oilers fans here in the province. But I don't know. It's tough to pick. What do you think?
I'm with you 50-50.
Yeah.
Or actually,
maybe a little
in
more
thirds.
Yeah.
Rider fans, Jets fans, and Flames fans.
Just come in any jersey.
That's what we've been talking about this a lot. Johnny Schmidt writes in on Facebook, says, too bad it's not the Habs and Leafs. He's the Montreal fan. If I said it was Oilers Leafs, the thing would have sold out within a month. But I also think that people here aren't fussy.
No.
This is a novelty thing,
sure.
right? And that's why there's
going to be opportunity. Who cares who's playing? You're going to go.
And we're all going to go. And I'm happy because, if I was still calling Rider games, they're not even going to be around here. They're at Commonwealth Stadium that very same night. So I'm happy to be able to go to the game. But this is how much, just to steer the discussion for a second, this is how much people love and are endeared by one Phil Andrews. I had somebody say to me the other day, Philzy, Pats are struggling. How's Phil doing? And I'm like, Phil's fine.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. It's what people don't understand. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Is that we knew this was coming, right? We hosted the Memorial Cup in 2018. And we gave away everything to be competitive, right? And, it would feel a lot better if they didn't lose by a goal in Game 7 in Swift Current in that playoffs, or were able to beat the Tetons in the Memorial Cup final in 2018. But, we knew that it was going to be a lean couple of years when you don't draft in the first round for, 4 straight years. And the guys that you did have after Sam Steele in 2013 were all traded away, along with, all of the young pieces that were part of this organization in that season. You knew that it was going to be a tough stretch here. And, the club is a hard-working one. I think that you can definitely say that they've been pretty competitive in almost every game so far this season. But, they're a club that struggles to score goals. And so we knew it was coming. I'm fine. There is a plan, and it's going to get better, especially with the draft picks that they had this summer, and then the picks that they're going to have this following draft in 2020 with holding Swift Current's pick, which we hope is going to be a top 5 pick, and you get your next Sam Steele. So it's all about the process right now. We saw the Saskatoon Blades go through it after they hosted in 2013. We're hoping it doesn't take as long as it did for them to get back to relevance, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Because, as I mentioned earlier, you got 3 little kids. They're all under the age of what, 6?
6, yep.
Yeah. You're not out in the places I'm out. You're at the rink or you're at home, basically, right?
Yes.
So what I hear is this. Cole Sillinger's with the Tigers. How come the Pats don't have him? And Clark's like, they didn't have a first-round pick that year?
We traded up to get to the 4th round of that draft.
Right.
So we were going to pick in the 6th round.
You were nowhere close. But these are the things that people say, right? And now they want Dave Struch fired because they see the team's record, right? That's the way people are around here.
You could have anybody, Mike Babcock behind the bench, and this isn't a slight against our players. It's just like that's where we are as a team. There's just not that high end skill. We've got some good players at the top side, but you win with high end guys, and we haven't been able to pick those high end guys. So coaching to me. While it is relevant, and Dave and Brad are doing a heck of a job getting these guys better, a change is redundant, in my opinion.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Interesting term to use. And how about John Paddock? I understand he enjoyed being in. Can we stop cleaning during the show?
I'm so distracted right now.
Can we not do that?
I wish everyone could see what's happening right here.
It's okay.
The janitor never stopped.
The cleaning staff's in here. No, I'm serious. Can we not do that during the show, please? Thank you. I heard John enjoyed coming in here.
Man, isn't he awesome though? That. I could sit and listen to him talk about hockey for hours, and I could do it every day. To have him sit here and you could talk about the history, and he's got stories and he's willing to talk, and I think he really enjoys talking hockey because he loves the game. He wouldn't be doing it still at 63 or whatever he is in junior hockey if he didn't love it. And so he's an incredible person, and he really did like coming on here. I enjoyed watching it.
It was a fun chat.
Awesome.
And questions he wouldn't normally get. By the way, here's another thing, because I'm knocking them all off here as we go with Jackie Perez and Phil Andrews. Some have said, and I don't believe this is true, but that this NHL outdoor game, the Heritage Classic, is to prove that the NHL could exist in Saskatchewan.
You think it could?
Nope.
Why not?
I'm full on... Why do you think it could? Let's start there. Let me gather my thoughts before I answer that question. Do you think it could?
You have the passion here. There's so much passion here in hockey. When I moved here, I was like, okay, this is where hockey is in Canada, because in Toronto, it's just diluted with all the other sports, and there's still a strong NHL team there. But here, this is where it's born. This is where it's bred.
I agree that there would be fan support. There's no doubt about that. I think that like Winnipeg did or Vegas did when they were acquiring their franchise, you go out and you have to acquire 15,000 season ticket holders and have them locked in, whatever Winnipeg did for 4 years. I don't think that would be a problem. Where the issue is, I think, is the corporate dollar in terms of supporting the teams and just the money that other markets have to support the National Hockey League. It's not at the same level here in Regina. And so that's where I think the issue lies in the NHL coming to Saskatchewan.
I'm with you. The passion's there. The money's not. I guess we could put it to a poll to see what people think. Dave Spadaforo writing it on the Facebook wall. He says, yes, we do. All we need is a chance. And, hey, they built a rink in Saskatoon for that very purpose. I assume you've been there. Of course you have, Jackie. And Philly, that's your hometown.
Yep.
And they want to get a new arena built in Saskatoon now.
Too, yeah.
And I'm all for it. I'll explain why in the break. I'm not anti-NHL, but it's... You're going to have to draw from the million people that are far-flung all across the province. It's not like Winnipeg, where the 3/4 of the province's million are in Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is to drive in the winter up to 2, 3, maybe 4 hours in the winter to go to 41 games. And that's just the fans, let alone the corporate dollars, and the riders are sucking up all those dollars, or at least they were. So I just don't think the money's here. Yeah, but I do think the passion's here. You're right.
I think it's closer, doable money-wise, just because of the TV money that is there now in the NHL. Like, that's a big part of what drives the salary cap now. Is not as much as relied on the corporate dollar, and more in terms of the TV deals and that type of thing. So it's closer to being viable than probably 10 years ago, I would say, here in the province. But at the same time, it would be tough. It wouldn't be as easy going as, obviously, as those big centers.
Mm-hmm. You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.